guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kayla Alexandria, and today I am here to tell you a few things that I wish I knew before I had moved to Korea. So for those of you who already know, and those of you who don't know, I have been living in Korea for the last, I guess, year and a half. So I currently live in South Korea, and I've been having the time of my life. I enjoy it so much. I love it here, and things have been going great. So a lot of times I get asked some questions about what it's like living here, and the best question that I've gotten so far was, what were some things that I wish I knew before I had moved to Korea? And this question is always a difficult one because it's like you kind of want to walk into things with a fresh mindset, fresh eyes. But there were a couple of things that I would have been able to appreciate knowing before I had gotten here. So, number one, the religious groups, the pseudo-religious groups. Sometimes they're a little culty, like a little cult-like. You can be approached by some groups, some religious groups of people who are looking to, I'm not really sure, I guess recruit you for their religious group. They usually prey on you if you're alone and you're walking around in an area and they see that you're a foreigner. They're going to try and sway you away from the crowd and say, hey, come with us. We'll go to this place to get, just a little bit of history. I'm doing a project. Maybe you can join me. We'll go to this museum. You'll learn about Korean history. You'll get food, all that good stuff. And it sounds fun and exciting, and you might get scooped up. I did not get scooped up. I was actually too busy, and I don't like going places with strangers. So I have been approached multiple times, and I did not personally go, but a friend of mine, two friends actually, did go, and they said that they enjoyed their experiences. They got food, but personally, I did not go, and I don't think that I would. Number two, the air quality in Korea. I really did not know that South Korea was gonna have the air quality that they do. The air is not the greatest here, and I had to learn that the hard way. The reason that a lot of people wear masks, obviously now, COVID-19, we're wearing masks for an entirely different reason. But at first, when I first got here, people were still wearing masks then, like a year and a half ago, and I was concerned, I was confused. But honestly, it's because of the air quality. There is a lot of pollution. There's a lot of fine dust that flies in from China and other places. Obviously, we burn garbage here because we don't have a big garbage dump. So a lot of things end up in the air, and we can't breathe that in. So some mornings you'll wake up and the air quality will be very poor, and you got to put on your mask and breathe through it. So I ended up dropping a bag on an air purifier when I first got here, and it has done me so well. But yeah, I did have to invest some money in some clean air and also some clean water. If you are looking to move here, you might want to buy a shower filter. Some girls have experienced some hair loss, and like your skin can be kind of dry, things like that in the shower. So I would recommend buying a shower head filter and an air purifier if you're looking to come to South Korea. Okay, number three, fetishes. There's a lot of fetishizing that goes on here in Korea, whether that's foreigners coming because they fetishize Koreans and the Korean culture, and they want to be with somebody who's Korean and immerse themselves in the culture. That goes on a lot. And then there are also Koreans who fetishize the foreigners. So there is a lot of, you can kind of tell when somebody wants you because they want you, or they want you because they just want a black girl or a white girl or a Korean man. So for the girls, this is a little insider tip. For the girls, the foreign girls who come to Korea looking for a Korean man or woman or a partner, we call them Korea boos. So if somebody calls you a Korea boo, you already know why. 4, smoking everywhere. Wow. Like, people smoke everywhere. And I mean like cigarettes. I had no idea that people smoked everywhere. When I say people smoke everywhere, I mean like they smoke everywhere, especially in the club. Like, you cannot go to a club out here and not come out smelling like you were puffing the whole time. Like, it's ridiculous. I do not smoke cigarettes, so it's wild that like I have to be in this place and like I'm inhaling this bad air on top of the bad air quality. It's something to be mindful of. So if you're a person who can't do smoky areas and claustrophobia, then I would say be mindful of that and be careful of where you choose to go out, because personally that is something that really bothers me when I go out and everywhere reeks of smoke and I come out smelling like smoke, my hair, my clothes, everything. So that's definitely something that I wish I knew. Number 5, I don't know if everybody else knew this and maybe it was just me living under a rock, but man, Koreans can drink. Like, was this common knowledge for everybody else? Because I was shocked. Like, they sell soju in the convenience store for 1,000 won, which is like $1. And it's basically like a watered down vodka. If you're trying to get messed up, like, you can really get messed up in Korea for very cheap. And they love to drink. They will drink you under the table. You have to go to something that's called a hwaeshik, which is basically a dinner with your school. If you are coming as a teacher, you may have to go to hwaeshiks with your coworkers. Some of your coworkers, your principal, your other teachers, some of them may be drinkers and they want to go shot for shot with you. They want to see how much you can handle. And that's a very big thing, is that they want to know how much you can withstand. So don't be surprised if you do get asked to a hwaeshik and you do get asked to drink a lot. But I had no idea that like Koreans of all ages, older, younger, everybody can really drink. Okay. Number 6, personal questions. Koreans ask a lot of personal questions, especially when they first meet you. And it's nothing to take sideways or like personally or as any type of disrespect. So certain questions that maybe in North America you wouldn't come right out and ask. Questions like, are you married? Are you single? How old are you? These are questions that they need to know because of how they will address you. So the Korean language is very based on who is older than you, who's younger than you in authority. So the way that you would say hello, per se, to somebody who's older than you is different than the way that you would say hello to somebody who's younger than you. And the way that you would say thank you to somebody who's older than you is different than you would say to somebody who's younger than you, and different than you would say to your own friend. So there are a lot of different ways of saying the same thing depending on who you're speaking to. So questions like, how old are you? That is just out of respect so that they know how to address you. And questions like, are you married? Do you have any kids? They will ask those things, but they don't mean any harm in asking them. They're just questions and they're very forward with that, but it's not to be taken negatively. It's just a question. Number 7, it is very easy to meet other foreigners here and make friends with other foreigners. And that is definitely something that I wish that I had known, because even myself, who's living in a very small town, I have a lot of foreigner friends. And I make connections with people who live all over the country, and you get to meet up with people in bigger cities like Seoul or Busan, and it's easy, it's fun. You don't have to worry too much about being the only foreigner, depending on where you are. But that was something that I was definitely very concerned about, and it ended up working out so well in my favor. So I would say don't put too much stress into thinking that you're not going to meet anybody, because chances are you will meet somebody, and it will be somebody that you like, hopefully. Okay, number 8. It is easy to find great food here for very cheap, and you don't tip, okay? So no tipping in Korea. So you end up saving a lot of money, I think, in terms of food, but groceries are super expensive. So you can go out and buy cheap food, cheap meals, and you can go out to dinner with a couple of friends and be paying like very little, like $8 for like a big mixture of food, drinks, everything. But when it comes to cooking at home and buying groceries, it can be quite difficult to find what you're looking for at a lower price. You can find what you're looking for. You can find meats like beef, chicken, you can find some vegetables. The only thing that I haven't been able to find here is plantain. But we proceed. But everything can be found here. It's just gonna be a little expensive. So I would say keep that in mind, that you might have to spend a little extra coin on grocery shopping, but you make up for it in other ways. 9, learning Hangul is a lot easier than you might assume that it is. So I would say don't write it off as like, I'm not gonna learn Korean, or it's gonna take me super, super long. It really doesn't take you long to learn the symbols and how to sound them out. Understanding them, that is a different issue. But if you do set aside some time to learn Hangul, you can learn it very, very quickly. So I would say don't let that intimidate you. The fact that it's a whole different language and you have no idea what all of these symbols mean. Trust me, there's not that many and it doesn't take that long. You will get it. 10, taxi drivers here may not always be your friend. Okay, that I'm gonna say. Sometimes it can be very intimidating to have to say an address in Korean, and sometimes they'll just stare at you. No matter how hard you're trying to pronounce, they won't help you. Sometimes it's just no. And sometimes they'll reject you. Sometimes for foreigners, they just won't take you in their car. They'll say no because they don't want to deal with the language barrier and having to try to figure out where it is that you're going. So I would say sometimes they're not your friend. Sometimes they're the best. Sometimes you'll get the odd really, really good taxi driver who does speak a little bit of English. They want to talk to you. They want to get to know you, ask you where you're from, what you're doing here. And those are always the gems of, you know, Korea. And of course, there's so many people who will be so loving and kind and wonderful to you. But I would say that just as a precaution, if you are planning on taking a taxi somewhere, make sure that you have the address written out in Korean somewhere that you can, you know, just pass it off really quickly, because sometimes they don't have the patience to deal with you and not understanding Korean. So that's number 10. Okay, taxi drivers. That's it. I think that I covered most of the things that I wish I knew before I came to Korea. Of course, you learn as you go, so I would say don't let that stop you from doing anything, from moving anywhere, whether it's Korea or to another country or another continent. I would say you can do it. You have it in you. You'll learn as you go and you'll be fine. But these are just a few things that if I had known, I would have had it in the back of my mind and wouldn't have been so taken aback and shocked. This will just help ease the culture shock for some of you who do plan on coming to Korea, hopefully. And of course, it's best to experience everything for yourself. You know, your experiences are going to be different than my experiences. So I would say definitely just stick to your gut and know what's up. But if you're here and you're doing your homework and you're checking, you're watching YouTube videos before you leave, before you get anywhere, before you get started, then you're already 10 steps ahead of the game. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming and checking me out. If you are planning on coming to Korea, drop me a message. And I wish you the best of luck. If you live in Korea already and you just wanted to click on my video, then hey girl, what's up? Hey, my guy, what's up? And I hope you stay tuned. I hope you click that subscribe button in whichever corner it is. And we can keep in touch. Follow me on IG and all that. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Annyeong.